Hey there, it's Crafty Jennabug, and so begins working in the June 2023 junk journal. This is part of a series I am making where every month I make a new junk journal and decorate it all throughout the course of the month. So I'm pretty excited to get started. So I don't want to fill this journal with tons and tons of rainbows. Instead, I want to make a rainbow throughout the pages of the book. So I'll start with white and I'll move my way through the color spectrum all the way to black. And yeah, I did not realize how much of a challenge it would be to start with white and only use white as a main color focal theme kind of thing. I knew it was going to be a challenge, but I didn't expect it to be quite so difficult, if you know what I mean. So I went through my stash and found a few things. I think what I want to do for these is make a background and then embellish all over it. I went through my stash and I found a bunch of things that were mostly white or almost completely white. I found this, which is kind of cream colored, but I really like it for a potential background. So I've got that. I also have this as a potential background. It has just a very light, can you even see it? Yes. Just a very light pattern. I might actually, you know what? I think this is a little too cream. I'll save it for the cream page. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this. I do want a little bit of the page behind, the coffee dyed page to stick out. So I'm not gonna take it all the way to the edges. And then I also have this really cool textured paper. It has a few colors in it, mostly red, but I thought that might make an interesting element, potentially. I have a piece of vellum with white diamond shaped pattern in it. That might make something fun. I have a piece of embossed cardstock with vines all over it. And I have this cardstock, which has a whole lot of texture in it. Embossed swirl. That I also took a piece of vellum, just plain vellum, and I cut out some feather shapes. And I know I want to incorporate a white feather. I also found this in my stash. It's a bunch of like embellishment elements. What is this? Yeah. And they're already white, so I thought I could use that. Because this journal has so few pages compared to some of the other ones, I do plan on making each page rather bulky, or to have some sort of flip down element or something along those lines, just because it's kind of skimpy, it's a shrimp. It's very thin, and I have lots of room to make it bulky, so why not bulk it up? All right, let's get started. The first thing I want to do is make this the background. So for the white page, I have decided to take this for the background, and then I cut it so that I had way more down here to fold over as a pocket, because I thought the contrast between the two really looked nice. And then I think I will take some of this vellum and make a pocket down here. Okay. So first thing I got to do is glue this down. I think I will just use some glue stick. So there's that. Then I can use my PVA glue. to glue that. And I like that little bit of contrast between this light pattern in the background and then this stark white pocket. I want to add I think I will use double-sided tape for the vellum. So there are my 2 pockets. Alright, so this is how I want these to go. I've got the vellum feather here, and I've got this feather crossed over it a little bit so that they're both hanging off the page. Alright, I have this cut out of that cardstock, and it's going to go in the big pocket. And I want it to look more like a tag. So I'm going to fold it hopefully. Yeah, that gives me more what I'm looking for. Awesome. I really like the way that looks. Do I want to put a thing in it? Well, I think I want to back it first. I'm going to back this card on some white cardstock. That way I just have some journal space on the back. I love that. And of course, I will leave the back white. All right. So that is going to be one tag. All right, so this dried, and I ended up sewing, I don't know if you can see it very well, but I sewed around the edge in a white thread just to give it a little more something, a little border around all of that embossing. And I'm not going to do anything else to this. I got some journal space on the back, and there's so much texture going on. I love it so much. So that one, I might, yeah, maybe. I'll think about that. I have another tag in the meantime, so maybe I'll add a pearl to this. But first, I cut out a tag shape in that embossed with vine paper, and I sewed around it in a slightly smaller stitch. And it's gonna go in here, but I want to center that. With these, I think I want to put this big one on the front of this smaller tag. Yeah, I just think that looks so good. And then I have this right here that looks kind of like a mustache, and I want to add it down here just to cover up this little bit. So that's the plan. Let me get a little tacky glue, because these are sticky, but not very. That is really cute. I still am thinking about that pearl though, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick that in there. I will use PVA glue. No, I'll use the tacky glue because it'll grab better. All right, I love that. Almost feel like it needs something over here. All right, I added a clothespin to pin down this thing so that the glue would dry. The glue would dry better if I clamped it down. I used some of this background paper and cut out a little label. And I think it needs to go right here. This felt like it was missing something. And I think that ties the two together. Although it kind of makes it kind of a bit obvious that these are more of a, more towards cream than white, but we're going with it. Use the tacky glue. All right, this is what I went with. I took some of the background paper and cut out a little label, and then added a little scrap of lace behind one side of it, and 4 pearls at the corners, and I think it's done. I think that is awesome. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. I was a little concerned with how I was going to do the white page. I thought about doing a little bit of other color in there, maybe some gray. I wasn't sure, but I think it works. The only colors was a really faint purplish gray color in the background and on the tag. So, and you know, or a slightly cream toned white for some of this, but yeah, I really like this. That's exciting. So, one page done. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here and just feature each colored page per day. So here is the white page, and I'll post the cream page next, and so on and so forth throughout the colors of this journal. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye.